11 goals and 10 assists for 21 points, 90 shots on goal. So that right there lets me know. I mean, he's looking for the assists. He's trying to, to help his teammates get that puck into the net, but he doesn't have what Sidney Crosby has on his team. So I have to put him one above Sidney Crosby because he is a man on a mission on his own. It seems like a lot of times out there on the ice when Washington's playing. Like I said, 90 shots on goal with 11 goals, as opposed to Sidney Crosby with 55 shots on goal and 12 goals. I mean, the percentages it's 12%, 12% scoring rate for Alex Ovechkin and 21%. You know what I mean? So Alex Ovechkin is trying to do it all on his own, as opposed to Sidney Crosby knows that he doesn't have to do it all on his own. I have to give Alex Ovechkin a standing ovation. They put him 19, rank him one above Sidney Crosby right now, just for that fact alone.
Would you say that Ovechkin gets a lot more body work done to him than what would happen to Crosby over the course of each game that they play?
Yeah, he gets a lot more body work done to him, and he dishes out a lot more body work as well. I mean, he's got 54 hits as opposed to Sidney Crosby's 12. You know what I mean? Sidney doesn't mind putting a body to somebody, but he'd rather not if he doesn't have to. Whereas Alex Ovechkin will roll you over and take that puck from you.
Yeah, and I just me personally, I enjoy that high impact style of hockey. I'm not a huge hockey fan, but I do watch it. I enjoy any sport that I can watch. I'm just a competition lover, and if there's something going on and somebody's gonna lose, I am interested to see who's not gonna win. I just like to see what's going on. But when I watch hockey, I do appreciate, especially playoff hockey, the speed of the game, the physicality of the game, and see. Being a former soccer player, I can tell you this, the games that you don't play with your hands, like something touching your hand, the palm of your hand, is a high dexterity type of thing like hockey or soccer. You have to appreciate the finesse of the game. Even for power players to be able to handle, at what are they going, like 15 to 40 miles an hour or so, skating, and then they're slap shotting 100 and 100 plus. To be able, like, when you see, I know it doesn't look like much, but the puck pops up and they reach up with their glove and they grab it down and drop it down on the ice. Could you catch a 75-mile-an-hour puck barehanded and drop it in the keepers? They're catching 100-mile-an-hour shots on a little 3-inch piece of plastic. I mean, you gotta respect the skill set, and it definitely is a high demand in high school. I let some guys talk me into going to try out. I went to one day. I got checked up to wazoo, and I hung it up. It wasn't, it was fun, but, it requires a lot of skill. You have to respect every sport and what they do, and they're playing very hard. That's why there's a lot of teethless guys. They're getting whacked, and, these guys do amazing things, which also brings me to another point, which we're about to touch in a moment, in case you just tuned in. You're listening to WKUF 94.3 LP. This is, FM. I've been gone for a while. Wow. That was old, Supreme. I can't believe I said that. Anyway, it is 11:34. It is 59 degrees Fahrenheit, still in Flint. That's the temperature outside. It's kind of muggy and ugly, but you do what you do, man. It's the weekend. You got to get out. You got to do it. And we're hanging out in here, doing our thing. Supreme's calling in from New Jersey, and we're talking hockey right now. And Alex Ovechkin ranks 1 over Sidney Kidd, even though his season has been completed for the year. You got to love it. Let's just take a little look into the crystal ball, man. Would you go with Wings versus Penguins? How many games? Who takes the cup?
Well, Wings versus Penguins. How many games? That's going to go... My heart is saying, I want to pick Pittsburgh to win that. My heart's saying that. I know I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Michigan. My heart's saying I want Pittsburgh to win that only because they were there last year. I mean, I don't want them to be the Buffalo Bills of the NHL. You know what I mean? Shout out to JT. I don't want them to be the Buffalo Bills of the NHL. I mean, you get there, but you don't win.
Right.
I know Penguins have a Stanley Cup under their belt. I know that back in the '90s. But this is a whole different ball of wax right here. I'm gonna take Detroit in 6. I just think they know how to get it done, and they have the professional swagger. They've been there. They have so many championships underneath their belt. They just know what to do and how to get it done when it comes that time. I just think that Detroit's going to take that series in 6. I'm sorry. I mean, I really would like to see Pittsburgh take it in 7, but I just think Detroit is too strong for them and going to take it in 6.
Hey, the Red Wings always know how to put together a championship caliber team, man. Doesn't matter who's on there. They're always competitive. Which, speaking of no matter whoever's on there, let's talk about these New York Yankees, man.
Hey, they're trying, man. They're struggling. They're struggling, but it's like I said last week. I mean, it's still early on in the season. You know what I mean? I think they'll come out all right. I don't know if they're going to win their division. I don't think they're going to win their division. I mean, Toronto is tough right now in that division.
Oh yeah, they're crazy.
You got the Boston Red Sox, who always seem to get the Yankees fits. You know what I mean? But right now, Boston Red Sox they're not struggling. I mean, they lost last night, but they're still like 21-12 right now. You know what I mean? But they're sitting Big Poppy on the bench. Boston is. So I think right now, if anything, the Yankees need to make this run right now. I mean, they're home right now. They win last night at home. A-Rod goes 0 for 1 with 4 walks. All right, so he didn't, so he didn't blast one out of the park. You know what I mean? But he was on base 4 times. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I mean, you got to look at those kind of numbers too. Just because I'm not hitting 47 home runs, you got to see the on base percentage. I got on base 4 times, which means I got other players that can get me get me home, in which they had a good job of doing last night. I mean, they had to come out and win it, late with a late rally, but still it doesn't matter. It still goes as a W, in the win column. You know what I mean?
I hear that. And with that being said, let's talk about Toronto a little bit. They're pretty scary out there in the AL East, but there's only one team performing better than them right now, and that'll be the Manny Ramirez-less Los Angeles Dodgers. Let's talk about that. They lose their guy, and they go 6-4, which isn't really all that impressive in the last 10, but you're still 25-12. I mean, you're playing dominant baseball.
Yeah. Who is their guy right now? Joe Torre. Joe Torre is their guy. You know what I mean? I know he doesn't play the game, but he knows how to manage that team. And what you do is you got to take the pressure off the rest of the team. You can't let this Manny Ramirez fiasco become a problem for your team. And he's doing a good job of keeping them together and keeping them fundamentally sound. And all right, so they go 6-4 without him, but they went 6-4 without him. You know what I'm saying? They're still winning games. They're not saying, "Oh, Manny's not here and we can't win these games." No, they're still getting it done.
Yeah, definitely. And that just goes to show. I mean, Manny goes down, people automatically say, kind of like the Ovechkin thing, kind of the same similar comment. Manny's down, the Dodgers are done. Like that one slot in batting rotation will just sink the entire franchise.
Right. And you can't base your franchise on one player. You really can't do that. I mean, I like to think of Manny Ramirez as the sideshow right now in Major League Baseball, And I'm sorry, Dizz, I mean no disrespect, but he reminds me a lot of Terrell Owens in football. I mean, the guy just likes to have, he seems like he lives by the philosophy of any publicity is good publicity. You know what I'm saying? Now he's not out there, running around and saying all kinds of stuff. He's actually been kind of quiet, with this whole situation because he knows he did something wrong. You know what I mean? So actually he goes in, they had a little meeting last night. He actually was first time since this whole situation. He went and spoke to his team last night. They were down in Miami. And he actually spoke to his team last night, for the first time since this whole situation went down. And, and from what I understand, Joe Torre and the rest of the players said it was a positive thing, you know what I mean? And do we feel he owes us an apology? No, I mean, he feels he owes himself an apology, but as far as the rest of the teammates go, all right, you're not going to be there for 50 games, but we can still hold the fort down while you're gone,
Definitely.